Welcome back to the Stockwell Eldridge Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with Remax Results. Dawn, I said, is out. If you missed the first segment, she is out working, showing houses, probably writing an offer right now, hopefully with someone. We have Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo here.
Good morning. It's great to be back. I've been gone for like 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I was so bummed I almost missed out on today.
But you're probably doing some stuff that was really fun, right? So you didn't miss
Gosh,
it.
I'm trying to think. Well, my birthday was in July, so it's birthday month. And I'll admit it, I had a milestone birthday. I turned 50.
Nice. Nice.
It's kind of a rite of passage, though, I feel like. Now I'm like, I can because I'm 50. So actually I did. I went to Chicago and then just with our water ski team and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice.
So just, so I might have to move to birthday quarter, though, because
Birthday quarter.
I am like booked out through August. I just don't even know I can get all
gosh.
these celebrations and libations in 1 month. So,
Happy belated birthday. Or did it already happen?
Yep,
Right?
it was 7/11. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
well, that's cool. Easy to remember.
Yeah, but it's just the whole month of July. So happy birthday month,
Happy birthday.
That's good.
Thank you.
So in the first segment, we talked about the market update, and we introduced Vicki Swenson, Minnesota Mold Inspections, and Ryan Larson with the Anderson Agency. And first, Vicki, let's start with you. You've been on the show before. You were on during the state fair. It was a little louder. We had Home Depot next to us when we were live at the state fair, and that's where the kids can make their own wooden something with hammers and nails.
All the hammering, yeah.
So you hear that when you're there. But welcome back. And actually, Vicki, on a personal note, we had a little issue on our air conditioner. We have a boiler heated home, and the AC air conditioner and all the condenser and everything is in the attic. And there's a line that has to come out of the house to push the water out, right? Normally that's in your next to your furnace on a forced air furnace, and it goes in your drain, or you have a pump to pump it to your drain. Anyway, that was leaking. It came down, and then our drywall was getting stained, so we had it cut out. And I'm like, I see a little bit. It looks like potentially mold in there. So we had Vicki out to do 6 or so tests on our house. This is a few months ago now, and I'm happy to say the results were. Vicki knows the results, right? It was.
Well, even if you have mold, I teach you how to clean it up, but your house is very mold-free.
It was mold-free, which was great because we have 3 kids in
Yep.
there, and I was worried about it and everything like that. So,
Right.
But Vicki, tell us about yourself, what you do, and how business is going, and what you're seeing out there right now.
Yeah. I'm Vicki from Minnesota Mold Inspection. For 12 years, I have been helping people find mold. Some people know they have it, some people don't. I do things like lift carpet, pull back baseboard, do air quality testing, moisture testing. So I really help you figure out if you have mold, and then I let you know what to do to get rid of it. And then sometimes I go back and test the house to give it the clean bill of health or any part of that. Been doing it for 12 years. I have 4 sons, and my 3rd son is really allergic to mold. And when he was 5, we realized that. He couldn't even go to grandma's house. We'd drive 300 miles, and he would end up in ER. And that's what
my
opened my
gosh.
eyes to like, okay, if you're that person, my other 3 sons were fine. They could be there.
Right.
When I realized that 4 people in our own family had enough mold to trigger his asthma, that's what got me interested. I still didn't really know much about the business, and someone told me that their friend was a mold inspector. So I Googled how to become a mold inspector, and it is actually a pretty big deal. There are a number of people interested in mold: real estate agents, homeowners, sellers, renters, landlords, investors, insurance companies. The list is very long of people interested in mold.
Yeah.
Well, it is, and I don't think people even realize. I mean, we've run into that sometimes, even on purchases or refinance. Obviously, the appraiser has to go out and take photos, and sometimes we've noticed like a little speck of mold, and the homeowners are like, because Wells Fargo will require that to be remediated beforehand, and people are like, oh, I'm not going to spend the money, don't worth it. And it's like, no, this could be serious, but so I think it's great. I'm interested to hear more, and that's like you said, found your passion because of your son and everything like that. But I don't think people realize how, and then it can just grow anywhere, like in a house, or how do you know?
It can grow. Well, if it's basement carpet is the number 1 source of mold spores. And so if you smell dampness, the interesting thing about Minnesotans, they think that damp smell in the basement is normal. They say, oh, it has that basement smell. When they call, I say, do you have a basement? Yep. Is there an odor? Yes. Your basement is supposed to smell as good as the rest of your house, so any kind of odor in the basement can suggest a problem. And carpet that sits on cement is really prone to mold even if you don't have a leak. If you have uncontrolled humidity or moisture moving up through the slab, basement carpet actually can turn into a mold
It
farm.
sweats. A lot of times concrete will sweat. and then that gets wicked up
Yep.
into the carpet, and then it does it over and over again, and then that's where it holds, right?
Yep.
And then,
And the interesting thing about carpet is most carpet is synthetic, and the mold is growing on the dust that accumulates. So they've put brand new carpet into super humid chambers, and it won't grow mold. But the dust that gets in the nap over time is what's supporting the mold, and that's how you can get a whole mold farm in your basement, and you don't even need to see it. So what I walk people through, sometimes you have to lift your carpet, look for tack strip. If you see rust stains on your tack strips, only on the nails, and those nail have stains have
I
transferred
see
to the
that a
carpet.
lot. I see a lot of tack
That's-
strips with rust stains in the
Yep,
basement.
and that's from condensation. That's
And
not
the
a leak.
tack strip itself is black sometimes,
When
or
it-
stained.
When it's black, it's been wet. If it's just rusty nails, that's condensation. So that's how you can tell if it's
Okay.
actually leaking or just growing from condensation. But I tell people if there's enough moisture to rust your nails, there's enough moisture to grow that mold.
Yep.
So are there some things, Vicki, that like how do people like? So what are the typical calls you get? Is it because somebody, maybe like you said, your son is starting to have allergic reactions, or you smell something, or how would I know if I even have possibly mold growing in my house, or so that I could, kind of cut it off at the pass, so to speak, or be more.
Or how do you know, like you do,
preventative.
like Vicky, you do testing on it. How do you know you should?
Right,
should-
I guess, yeah, that was
Should
my-
everybody get a test, or is it something where you got to
Or what
look
do you
for a
do for
couple signs?
prevention?
Yep. Well, a lot of my calls, either people have had a leak, or they're smelling something, or they're sick. Or, like you said, sometimes the appraisers now. I think the appraisers have turned into mold inspectors about 7 years ago. But mainly for homeowners, they've had a water, or they're sick, or they're smelling something. So, should everybody test? No. But if you have carpet, especially if you're getting ready to sell your house, the main thing is lift the carpet in the corners to see if you have a problem, and look up in your attic. So mold is only going to grow where water is. It's very common in the basement, but attic mold is the one thing that most general home inspectors look out for. So if you're getting ready to sell your house,
I've
get
seen
on a
that
ladder,
too. Yep.
take a flashlight, look at your attic sheathing. If it's wood color, it's a very visual thing, and all mold inspections start with your eyes and your nose. You're looking for things that are changing colors and smelling things that are musty. So if your attic's dark, it may or may not be mold. Even I can't tell on wood because it could have been mold 60 years ago and dried up and those spores are gone. So, but most general home inspectors, I'm working on one attic per week in the summer because of the general home inspectors finding that. So,
Really? Wow.
super common.
What about this? I go to a lot of houses. I'm in a lot of houses all the time. A lot of times you go into a bathroom, and above the ceiling above the shower has like these blotches where it doesn't smell bad, doesn't smell like it's a big deal, doesn't look like it's a big deal, but that probably is
Yep.
some sort of mold, right?
It is. So when people call about mold in the bathroom, I ask them, is it one big spot or a lot of little spots? A lot of little spots indicate mold just growing from condensation, and that is not going to smell. And that's
And that's
really,
fairly not, I don't want to say safe, but it's not a big
it's one of the more,
hazard, right?
it's considered a minor mold condition.
Okay.
And if it's on painted sheetrock, if it's on texture, some people just scrape off the texture. If it's on a painted ceiling, you can clean that.
Just wipe it down, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
With
And then turn your
not
fan
with
on.
bleach, Not with bleach.
And
You
then
wanna-
turn your fan on.
Why not with bleach?
Yeah,
Yeah, why not
with
with bleach? Yeah.
Bleach evaporates so quickly, it makes it look like the mold is gone, but it evaporates so fast it doesn't stay on the surface to actually kill those little roots.
What should you use?
Either something like Concrobia mold stain remover or Jomax, something that's designed to remove mold.
Oh.
So I guess once you go in and do a mold remediation, then is it done, or is that something that needs to be followed up with? Like, can
Well,
it come back and grow in that area, or what you do actually kills it and it's done?
if you don't correct the water, it will come back. So in attics, sometimes you have to have an energy auditor in there to see how that moist air is getting up there in the winter.
Attics, a lot of times what it is, and this is something you'll see, folks, is a fan is venting right into the attic. So a bathroom fan is venting into the attic, and they didn't pop it through the ceiling or the roof to get it out into, and it's
Yep.
and then over time that will cause a problem up there.
So that condensation is just going straight up into the attic.
Oh, you'll see
Yeah.
it in the winter. Sometimes it's frozen, and then it melts, and then it starts to rain on your ceiling.
Yep, I've seen that a lot too. Yep. So you
Right
gotta. That's one thing you should look for. Your inspector should look for when you're. Well, if you're selling and you're doing a seller's inspection, or if you're buying and you do an inspection.
I'm
up there
kind
in
of
your
curious, a little off the subject though, Vicki, about your health. Like, how do you? I'm guessing it's probably with anything, right? When you're dealing with stuff,
Yep.
but I think,
Do you wear masks?
I
when
do
you
not
go
wear a
in?
mask. I just had to wear one this morning because the remediator fogged some toxic chemical. But I don't wear a mask. I have developed 5 different allergic reactions to different types of mold. So when it's the carpet, my nose will run. When it's on wood, my tongue stands up, so I can kind of tell.
Wow.
When the tests come back, like,
Oh,
yep,
wow.
my nose was running. And none of that happened for the first 5 years of being in business. That's all just happened
Developed
from
over
being
time.
around it.
time
And then
things
once
like
I'm
that.
gone, after 2 hours, I'm fine. But I can kind of tell, like, my tongue is standing up, so I know it's here somewhere. I've become a human mold test.
You're like the mold whisperer.
Yep. But one thing I want to say about the sheetrock, because I did say it's okay to clean a sheetrock ceiling, but let's say you have a leak in your basement and you see some mold on sheetrock near the wall, the foundation, you have to cut that out. So
If it's on the sheetrock, you see that sometimes, folks. If you go to your basement or you have an unfinished or a partially finished basement, you'll see that where it's actually built up. There's actually the sheetrock itself is soaked through or soaking wet, and then it's got, and that's sometimes you get the black fuzzy mold over the top, and you got to take that out.
Yep,
Yeah,
that wet sheetrock has to be cut out. The only time it's okay to clean sheetrock is a bathroom ceiling where you know it's just from condensation. So that's why I said when I asked, is it one big spot? Because you could have a leak from a bathroom above.
dripping down.
So
on
if you have
it,
mold
yep.
on one big spot in your bathroom, that should be cut out. But if it's a lot of little spots, but any sheetrock that's been wet, especially in a basement wall, because it could be worse inside the wall. And once you just see that little patch and you cut it open, it could be up 3 feet high in the wall.
Well, and I think then too, we can hear from Ryan afterwards, maybe right about how mold can infect or possibly your insurance or your house.
Oh, there's a lot of questions for insurance on this, but Vicki Swenson, what's a number for you? Phone number?
612-508-2742.
508-2742.
You have a website?
612.
mnmold.com.
Easy. mnmold.com. We'll have it on our Facebook page, folks, the Stockwell Eldridge Show, and we'll be back more with Vicki, and then we're going to get Ryan's take on this, being the insurance guy, Ryan Larson with the Anderson Agency. Stay tuned.
I will survive.